Welcome, welcome, one and all, to the vast network. Now, welcome to Cut Ups episode. What is this? 8.1. We're looking at the first half of the Michigan throttling of the Michigan State Spartans. If you're looking for any commentary on the Connor Stallions ongoing saga, follow my Twitter at Osentoski. I pretty much exhausted everything I ever want to say about the subject there. Plenty of posts, some great posts from other people in the space as well, including lawyers and people of that type. So before we get into the film, my short version of the breakdown is there's going to be some punishment. Going to be some punishment. Stallions will not be carrying forward with the program. I bet there will be some punishment as well for maybe a fine. Who knows? Who knows what's actually going to happen? But I think there's enough there for there to be punishment. But hey, we don't know yet. We don't know what the NCAA fully has. No notice of allegations. So yeah, maybe on part two, I'll get into that more. But I'm on a tight schedule today, so I kind of want to jump right into the analysis again at Osentoski on Twitter. I refuse to call it X on Twitter. You'll get my full thoughts. Plenty of posts on that today. Okay. If you are watching this later on, thank you for coming. Leave a comment there. Let's look at some comments before we get going. Let's go Blue. Mr. Martini, welcome back. Mark Majkowski, a fellow Polak like myself, here in the chat. Barner, number one rated PFF tight end. Dude's turned himself into an NFL tight end. He really has. In this game, he put on display, what was it, 9 catches, 11 catches, something crazy. I'm not going to say this out loud, but just to put it on screen, there you go. Yeah, what a great job getting Barner in from Indiana, right? Derek Campbell, not yet, okay? Not yet. There will be a time and a place probably, but not tonight. Okay, let me shift my screen. We can see the full screen. And let's get into it, all right? Let me know how the audio, if the audio is coming through of the plays, but let's dive right in. The plan is to get through the first half. We'll see how far. I'm thinking hour to hour and a half. We'll see how long. I got other things to do, got a busy schedule. Let's kick it off right. Lots of positive plays. Here we go. Early first quarter. First drive.
To Michigan State in this very building. Forum, another carry. This time he's going nowhere. But
okay, so this is a negative play, right? Start off with a negative play. And the thing that I was interested in, because the running game didn't do all that well, right? It was 3.5 yards per carry or something around that. And you would expect Michigan to do a little bit better job on that heading into this game, right? So the main thing I was looking at is, or that I was interested in, is how many bodies are MSU really dedicating towards the run, right? How many resources it was Michigan State planning on flying up to the ball. So I'm going to use Black and Mays here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So there's 8 people that they're really threatening towards the run. You could count 7, right? Maybe let's not include this guy, right? But this is 7 players that they're really dedicating towards the run. And how many blockers, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So you're 6 against 7. How do you get even numbers in the box from that? You read the edge player, right? Read the edge player here, and you have a little RPO, right? So you're reading him. You either give here or you pass out here on this little flood pass, flat pass. I don't know what you call. Then you can possibly block here. So for me here, this is something that here's the thing that I'm was hoping on this play. It could have been a nice RPO option, right? So if you're reading number 7 here, right, this is the read for JJ McCarthy, it looks like. This is wide open, right? You got a block here. Again, maybe this read wasn't live, right? Maybe it wasn't. But by not taking advantage of this, right, because he's bringing himself into the box, you have losing numbers here, right? You're 7 against 6. And 7 is greater than 6 for all you math majors, right? So that's an issue, right? Especially with number 9 flying down like that as well. There's a lot that you can take advantage of here with this little RPO action. So anyway, number 9 coming backside, that immediately puts this play dead, right? I feel like they're not expecting number 9 to be flying down the edge like this, right? If they did, they wouldn't leave him unblocked, right? So they're leaving him unblocked. He's doing a little scrape exchange here with the outside linebacker. This outside linebacker is looking to be the new edge player, right? His movement down the line of scrimmage here cuts off the path of Blake Corum. Right, so this play's dead because now Blake Corum has to abandon where his blocking is going, right? You have Pullers out this way, Nugent out this way, and you're allowing the rest of the defense to flow here very easily because number 9 is going down the line of scrimmage here and the blocking isn't set up for that. So anyway, I feel like this is just either the read is not on here, right? There's an even better view. The read is not on to get the ball to Loveland here in the flat for whatever reason, or it's just a wrong read, right? Just a wrong read. And when that happens and you have number 9 flying down the line of scrimmage here, that's going to blow up the play, right? So not sure whether it was a missed call or whatever it may be from J.J. McCarthy, but sets up Michigan 2nd and 10 here. 3rd and 14, right? So threatening a 3 and out here, or maybe 1 first down and out, but here we go.
Loveland, the tight end in motion. McCarthy, patient. Rolls. McCarthy buying time, fires on the run. He's got it first.
Here we go. I remember this play because I was like, wow, what a great catch from Loveland. And I was like, well, that was Barner going up and getting that. Like, good for him, right? So we got a couple angles on this one. Let's just start on this one. A little bit of an exotic pass rush here. Good protection. You're keeping 5 in only on a 4-man pass rush. What is Michigan State doing? Nothing really special. They're sending these 2 guys here. Boom, boom. They're looping this defensive end around, bringing this edge player, right? So you got 5 in against 4. So you should be able to handle that pretty well, right? Here we go. It's a good job keeping the eyes up for your right guard, right? This is a long developing stunt here, but your right guard is keeping his eye for it, right? This seems like it was well scouted. Zinter is ready for that, right? So that is where the pressure comes from, right? J.J. McCarthy has a good pocket initially. This guy does get a little bit more penetration than you would like if you're Zinter. Zinter needs to do a little bit better job there. And that is what causes J.J. McCarthy to duck out a little bit. But this is a lot of time in the pocket, right? By the time getting the ball, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Of course, this is slowed down, but you get my point where that's about the time that you would look to duck out. You can see the eyes shifting around for J. McCarthy. Nothing really coming open here on 3rd and 14. That looks appetizing initially. Let me see. Mark says, interesting how one play makes a big difference. 3rd and 14 convert versus incomplete drop. Totally different momentum. That's true. Yeah, it's huge starting the game off this way. It's really big to pick this up, and it's demoralizing for a defense. Right, so let's get into this. We saw the blocking. Let's look at the eyes here for J.J. McCarthy. Looks like he's initially looking over to the left here, probably seeing what this safety is doing just to get a sense of the coverage, right? So he's reading that he's dropping back. Seems like cover 2, right? Dropping back, deep half, dropping back, deep half. Right, so now J.J. McCarthy's eyes are shifting towards the middle of the field. He's probably looking if he can deliver the ball maybe here or maybe to Loveland based on this linebacker. It looks like the eyes here. He could possibly be looking at this, but since this is 3rd and 14, maybe he's hoping that there will be something behind him developing there. And I feel like he probably should have thrown the ball right here, right? Throw the ball right here. You like Barner's chances of picking up the first down on a catch and run, right? There's a big enough gap here. J.J. McCarthy's eyes are towards the center of the field, maybe looking for Colson Loveland initially, right? So he comes off of that, then shifts over to A.J. Barner. At that point, he's getting pressured and has to duck out, right? Couple options here. Feel like, again, now he's looking a little bit more towards center of the field. Good job from Barner finding the open space. I feel like this is a decent option as well because this, I don't know if that's a corner or linebacker, has to come up on Diamond Edwards. There's a bit of a gap here, right, on this rectangle right here for Colson Loveland, but J.J. McCarthy is looking towards the middle of the field. Right, good job from Barner, kind of sinking back a little bit, finding that open space, and he catches the ball really well through contact. Right, really good job. goes up and gets it. And again, this is the game where I feel like he made himself a lot of money, right? Going up and getting this ball, moving the chains consistently. Really good job. Really good catch. And hey, there could have been better options, right? Initially, right here to Barner. I feel like that could have been an option right there and possible first down, right? I feel like if we move forward and he's scrambling, could have hit Loveland going towards the sideline right here, right? And that could be a first down. But he found a way to make it work, right? And that's what great players do. What great players do. And JJ McCarthy was looking for the guaranteed first down, and hey, he found one, right? So again, don't apologize for making a great play overall. It's a really good job. All right, moving into first and 10 on the same drive now within the Michigan State 40. First and 10.
Especially in that third quarter again. Hand off Corum. Got hit initially, but just keep.
Not sure why I clipped this. I think it's mainly to show how hard Michigan State's linebackers were really flying down, right? So even before the snap, right? Look at what I think they're doing. Their patented double A blitz gap. What am I saying? Double A gap blitz, but with their linebackers, right? They're throwing themselves at the line of scrimmage. So this is important because it's like, why wasn't the run game successful, right? Was it just blocking? Was it something that Michigan State was doing? They're vacating their second level, right? They're committing really hard to the fact that this is going to be a run, right? And they guessed correctly. So that's something where it's going to be difficult to react to that in an offensive line instead of climbing to that second level, right? You have to deal with those guys now. You're not able to get the same level of blocks that you would like to initially there. And these guys have a lot of momentum, right? These linebackers have a lot of momentum to push the offensive line into the backfield a little bit more, make things more difficult for your running back, right? And that's exactly what we see here. See both your center and right guard get blown back a little bit. The rest of the play is blocked pretty well, right? There should be a lane right here where the play is really designated to go. But you have two linebackers trying to fly through here, right? So that catches up Blake Corum just enough here, right, to close that hole. Instead of Blake Corum able to hit this hole at full speed, this penetration just held him up a little bit, right? And look at all the gaps this creates because your offensive line is displaced this much, right? And that's hard to deal with, right? Hard to deal with. And then look at where you're adding numbers, right? So this is 6 initially, right? 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers throwing themselves in, and then they're bringing up the safety, right? Again, how many numbers do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 6. So again, was the running game successful? Not particularly, but look at how many resources Michigan State is expending, right? Even an 8th player with that safety coming flying down, really committed towards stopping that run. And it's still a 4-yard pickup, right? Give Blake Corum a ton of credit here. Not a big hole here because of that penetration, right? He's not able to hit that full speed, but he's able to get contacted right here around the line of scrimmage and drag his way through 2 additional bodies to get a 4-yard gain. You'll take that, right? If they're committing 7 to 8 bodies against a 6-person blocking scheme and you can still pick up 3-4 yards, that's okay, right? And that's what made Michigan so successful with their tight ends, especially this game, because of how aggressive those linebackers were in shutting down the run game, right? You're not always going to be able to do exactly what you want. If you're Michigan, they're going to want to shut down the run game, right? So anyway, there are certain tendencies, right? And Brian Block says that pistol backfield, they know there's no read. So it's one of those things where, hey, different tendencies for different teams, right? So why are they blitzing? Maybe they read out of this formation. Michigan likes to just run, right? There's no read here, no threat of the quarterback run traditionally. So they can commit more resources to the run and have a better chance of meeting a run and having advantageous numbers in the box, right? So again, you need to understand what the defense's approach is and counter it, right? Not just run into that box and say, oh, we're going to manhandle you regardless of how many people you throw into this 6-man blocking scheme. No, you use play action effectively. You switch up your game plan a little bit to adjust to how the defense is determining to play your offense. That's what you do. That's what good teams do. All right, let's move into 3rd and 4 here.
On 3rd down. Over the middle, McCarthy complete. Roman Wilson in stride.
I just don't know what Michigan State is really thinking here. Again, Michigan loves to use a lot of motion, right? They've loved to get Roman Wilson stacked up behind a tight end or wide receiver, send him on a crossing route, right? They like to get him sort of away from the line of scrimmage. And you can learn a lot from motion, right? You can learn what sort of coverage Michigan State is in, right? Your action through this motion gives information for the quarterback to read how the defense is reacting to that motion, because that's a tell, right? It's not necessarily always accurate, but it gives you more information about what the defense might be doing with that certain look. So Michigan's been doing that all year, doing a really good job of getting the defense into better looks for that, right? So is this a bust? I have to feel like I feel like it has to be, right? Because this coverage doesn't really make sense to me. Where, again, it looks like you have one-on-one coverage on the outside, right? Manned up here. You have three bodies right here. One, two, three, all covering Colson Loveland, right? I mean, I know he's a star, right? I know he's good, but leaving Roman Wilson here with just Cal Halliday, which, no offense to him, but he's not going to be covering a 4.29 or whatever Roman Wilson, right? A low 4.3 or high 4.2 40 guy. You're not going to leave him on a crossing route, right? You're not going to do that. And if you are, that's exactly what Michigan wants to exploit, right? So anyway, easy read, right? And this could also be another thing that Michigan recognized. Hey, this is their approach when we stack a wide receiver, right? They might have put that on film, right? So anyway, I feel like a safety probably messed up. I feel like they probably want to bracket Colson Loveland, right? I feel like this defender has to carry Colson Loveland deep. This guy is in the curl flat, so he takes away anything quick to the inside. Okay. I feel like this is the person responsible for anything that Roman Wilson is doing, and he just missed his assignment. Okay. Because this guy, I feel like, is getting into a cover one situation. So I feel like this guy is supposed to be manned up, come flying down here. He has zone, he's in the curl flat, man coverage here, and this guy just messed up. That's what it feels like, right? So good recognition for JJ McCarthy, right? Hey, there's no one on Roman Wilson at full speed past the first down marker on a crossing route. Let's hit him. Easy peasy, right? Nothing to it. But again, this is putting, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's pretty simple. That's pretty simple stuff. And you don't apologize for the opponent's mistakes, right? You don't at all. All right, we're at 3rd and goal here, close to the goal line. Blake Corum in. A little bit shaky here, but they get in the end zone.
Trouble with the snap. Corum's got it anyway.
And I don't think I clipped it, but it took the refs forever to call this a touchdown. Like, this ref came walking in here. It took like 10 seconds. Then he realized, oh, yeah, he's on the tight end in the end zone. I was like, all right. But anyway, a little bit scary, right? You can see here a little bit of a shaky snap, or at least a shaky exchange between JJ McCarthy and Drake Nugent. Yeah, I don't like the announcer either saying trouble with the snap. Like, come on. You know, he was just hoping to use that at some point, right? So not ideal, right? Give a lot of credit to the left side of the line here. Ladarius Henderson and Trevor Keegan just absolutely bowl over 99. He gets he's tunneling, right? But you get him taken out. And then great job for your tight ends, right? I'll say this all game. Colson Loveland, AJ Barner, really good job. One-on-one blocks there on their guys on the edge. Then you got a clear path here, right? Bredesen, what are you made of? Here's a free linebacker, right? Take him out. And Blake Corum just follows this, right? So good job from Bredesen. Boom, right? Creates just that gap. You don't need to create a huge hole here. You just need a seam, right? Just a little bit of a seam, just enough bodies to make it a little bit more difficult on these guys getting past that. And that's what Bredesen does there, right? You can see the path for Blake Corum right into Bredesen, right? Just follow that hip, boom. Let's give a lot of credit to both your tight ends, give a ton of credit for Bredesen. Those three players, the tight ends and Bredesen, some of the least replaceable guys on this team. They're exceptional. Week in, week out, they've been doing their jobs exceptionally well. Some of the best blockers on the team, best tight ends in the league. probably best fullback in the league for Ben Bredesen, and I don't think it's close. I'll argue that all day. Bredesen doesn't miss blocks, and he doesn't hesitate. And Colson Loveland's improved a lot in his blocking. We know what he brings as a receiving threat. AJ Barner was the opposite. We knew what he could do all year as a blocker, exceptional blocking tight end. Got some receiving chops too and yards after the catch. So Michigan gets in 7-0. Time for Michigan State's first drive here. I think this is the third down play that I don't like. We'll see.
Arbor transferred to Michigan State and has been a pleasant surprise.
But he's going backwards on this second down.
Nope, this was the second down play. All right, so again, Michigan it isn't really respecting the quarterback keep here, right? But what they are doing is they are, I think, replacing here a little bit. So again, they're sending Braden McGregor down the line of scrimmage, right? Usually, I think Michigan State is expecting this guy to stay home, right? This guy stays home. You give the ball here. You're hoping that this read, right, will keep Braden McGregor home so that you create enough of a gap here. You got a lead blocker play side, right? And you have your numbers. You eliminate this guy with your eyes by using him as a read. Instead, what's the assignment for Braden McGregor? You get down the line of scrimmage. It seems like they're replacing him with the safety, right? Safety come down here. You're the new edge player in case of anything to the outside. You can see Makari Page coming down here, possibly for any sort of keep, right? That seems like what you have Makari Page flying down on because of this little scrape exchange. I think that's what they call it. And you have Rod Moore dropping back into single high safety, right? So that's what I'm thinking is happening here. And this also is probably a scout of, how much do they actually like to run Hauser here? We like that battle with Makari Page by adding him to the box here, right? So good job, right? Boom. Nice job from Braden McGregor, right? Recognize your key, right? You don't really care if the quarterback actually keeps it, right? Trust your defense that they'll get out there to be able to handle that. If they hand the ball off, right, or even if they don't, hit them, right? Hit them. If they're going to fake, give him the ball to him, make him pay for it, right? And if he has the ball, boom, that's a tackle for loss. So really good job, and it sets up the Spartans deep, right? Mark Page has the QB, right? Yep, that's why he's flying down, right? Clicked the wrong thing. Why does it keep doing this? That's why you drop the safety down. He comes, replaces the edge. Boom, you take out the running back. This guy goes out. That's Makari Page. Yep. Exactly right, sir. Okay, so this is a better angle, right? Braden McGregor, his eyes all the way on the running back. That's his assignment. Nothing much more than that, right? This is the right defense for the right call. All right, moving on. So now 3rd and 10, right? This is where you want the Spartans with a young quarterback. One of the few true negative plays on the defense all game, really, coming up right here.
Good protection. Hauser, dump it down. Carter has to get away. He does, and Carter's got the first down.
Give some credit to Carter here, right? There's very few hat tips that you have to give to Michigan State in this game. This is one of them. Right, this is one of them. You look at the coverage downfield. I don't know if we have a full view of this. I don't think we actually do. No. You look at the coverage downfield here, right, where Hauser's looking. You're pretty manned up. You're manned up on defense. Great positioning here from Sainer still on this sort of fade here out of Mosley, I believe that is. Will Johnson man coverage down low. It seems like they don't even want to look his way, really. So the check down is to Nathan Carter. Right? And Michigan gets what they want here. Right? Here's Nathan Carter. Here's Mike Barrett. Right? He's manned up here on Mike Barrett. And he's right where you want him to be. Right? That little stutter step bought Nathan Carter a little bit of extra space. Right? You can see they're even right here. There's that little stutter. And now you look, there's maybe an extra yard here. Right? An extra yard between where he's at horizontally on the field versus Michael Barrett, right? So maybe that's an extra little crease that Nathan Carter needed, but it's a good stiff arm, right? Good stiff arm. And you got to give that player credit. Now, one thing that I do want to criticize a little bit, I think this blitz is way, way late from Junior Colson. I think he has to get a better feel for this, right? Where it's a little bit of a delayed blitz, right? You're sending 3 this way, right? Boom, boom, boom. You're sending this guy out wide. You're just delaying here, right? A little bit of a delay here for Junior Colson. Then he's going to fire, right? And I feel like he's supposed to fire as soon as he sees this guy release past him, right? So he wants to get a free release to the quarterback. You have another guy here for Nathan Carter once he does release. As soon as this guy gets out of your way, you have to go, right? So let's move forward here. You have to go now, right? You have to be going now. You have to feel this a little bit better. As soon as you see, okay, you should be firing, right? So he's just a little bit late, just a hair late on triggering there. Would it have made a difference? Probably not. He probably still would have gotten the ball away. But you like to see Junior Colson fire out a little bit quicker, if nothing more than to make this guy think about blocking you a little bit, right? Because if you go early and this guy's not able to release because he has to take you on, then that frees up Michael Barrett, right? So there's a couple things about that I would like to see Junior Colson a little bit better, right? I feel like his timing was just a little bit off on that. That results in Nathan Carter able to do his thing, right? So, yeah, a little bit of a misplay, I think, from Junior Colson just being late on that. And obviously, Michael Barrett's usually a very good tackler. So I would say this is definitely an exception, not the norm for him. Good tackle from Will Johnson, getting out there. But anyway, not a whole lot of negative defensive plays, especially for Mike Barrett this year. But that was one of them, right? They got a little bit on that one. All right, moving forward here, 5 minutes left in the first, 4th and 2.
Now in just 4 of 15 conversions. Handoff up the middle. Carter looks like he's short. Not going to get it.
Big stop, right? Right around midfield. I respect him for going for it here. Right around midfield, that's quite the gamble, right? Let's see how Michigan defends this, right? They're sending like crazy off the edge here, right? Sending your safety, I believe, is this Makari Page again coming flying off the edge? I feel like Michigan did a shift with the defensive line. I'm not sure if I actually have that or not. But anyway, they're doing a really good job here of sending your – it's a couple players doing a really good job. You're doing a little stunt play side where you're throwing Chris Jenkins in the play side A gap, right? Watch him just beat this center and guard by knifing through. And they're doing a little stunt where Mason Graham is replacing his responsibility of the A gap with Chris Jenkins by getting to the outside. So watch these two defensive linemen here, right? Boom, a little bit of a replacement, right? And now what do you do as the center? Right, the center is trying to reach out to Mason Graham here. So after he snaps the ball, trying to reach out here, or maybe that's play side guard. Yeah, the backside guard is trying to reach out to Mason Graham. He's replacing Chris Jenkins, right? Boom. You're able to replace that. Look at how much that blows up play side, right? That blows up a ton play side. And then backside, you're just pushing down the line of scrimmage, right? Wash this down, give a lot of room both for the safety off the edge and your linebacker, right? You give a lot of room for that safety and that linebacker to work on, right? There's a little bit of a gap here, right? A little bit of a gap, but it's a good job following this from Mike Barrett and making good contact, right? Boom. And then give a lot of credit there on the edge. I believe is that Jalen Harrell? I'm not sure. Sainrist off the edge there. Junior Colson and Michael Barrett. Right there, the play is called dead, right? That's where forward progress is stopped, right about here, right? And then there's another surge once another guy comes over, but at that point, the play is dead, right? Because right about here, boom, contact, maybe going forward. All right, now he's going backwards. You have to call the play dead, right? So anyway, definitely the play was dead, and Michigan takes over. All right, moving forward, 1st and 10. Michigan with 4:47 left in the first quarter.
Michigan's offense already up 7-0 back on the field, and McCarthy on play action going to dial it up over the middle. Dangerous throw.
Right, if you want to give a little bit of a criticism for Deja McCarthy in this game, there's not a whole lot, right? He won Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. I thought this throw was a little late, right? I thought this throw was a little late. If we're watching from this angle, right? A little play action here. Again, look at how much room this is buying for your tight ends, right? This little play action here. Look at how hard Cal Haladay is responding to that, right? He is flying up because he's seeing a pull, right? You're pulling across here on this defensive end. Linebacker is firing down, right? So that's, naturally going to open up your tight ends here right around the sticks, right? So boom, Cal Haladay recognizes that. He's trying to drop back. That ball needs to be thrown now, right? Right here. No reason not to rip this right here. You have Cal Haladay trying to fly back. He's not going to be able to react to that ball. Boom. Throw the ball now, right? Instead, 1 beat, 2 beat, right? He needs to anticipate that, hey, I need to be throwing this ball already, right? He needs to be starting his motion right now, right? Right now, he should be starting his throwing motion. Instead, he starts throwing motion right now. Right? That may not seem like a lot, but that gives a lot of time for this linebacker, right? Is that Brule? I think that's, yeah, probably Brule. He's just reading the eyes, right? He's reading the eyes all day of JJ McCarthy. So that extra beat gives him that much extra time to react here, right? And AJ Barner is drifting a little bit this way as well, right? So again, it just helps close that gap a little bit. Give a lot of credit, right? AJ Barner, not an easy catch to make. But the timing needs to be a little bit better there. Because here's the main concern. This works against MSU, right? And I feel like he is a good linebacker, or at least decent. Against Penn State or Ohio State caliber linebackers, right? That extra beat of holding on to the ball here, right? Instead of a pick, maybe it's a deflection, right? And deflections can cause turnovers, right? So you never know, right? That's the main concern that I had looking at passes of this variety. Just speed it up a little bit, right? Anticipate your tight end turning there and already be in your throwing motion rather than waiting that extra beat. He's a little slow in that. But again, still a great pass, right? Give him a lot of credit. It's to the side it has to be. And still a solid pass, right? So that's a fair argument. Brian Block, I think he's waiting for a Holiday to turn his back. I think there's probably validity in that, right? If you start throwing it right now, maybe Holiday does have a play on the ball, right? So maybe he is seeing that, but I would also think that you can put it in a spot that Holiday can't react to that ball well enough, right? I mean, it looks like this is the direct path, right? And maybe he can jump and get to it. But I feel like you can put a little bit high on this to where Holiday can't react on that. But, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. He's waiting for him to turn and has that feel, and that's why he threw it when he did. Regardless, I feel like it could have been a little bit earlier than what it was. But, hey, it worked, right? So who am I? But Barner, great catch. Another first down.
Incredibly efficient. He's 6 of 7 to start today. And that was a danger.
Okay, so we're at our weekly what's going on with Donovan Edwards segment, right? And this is one where, again, it's kind of poor damn Donovan Edwards in a certain sense, right? So again, whoa, excuse me. Let's analyze the numbers, right? Analyze the numbers of how many people MSU has in the box to defend the run, right? Obviously, Michigan has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? All 11 here. So obviously, you're going to be having a lot of bodies here in the box. But you essentially have 7 here. How many of these are you actually blocking here? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So again, 6 against 7, right? I don't know if these two guys are actually going in. Let me rewatch that. Yeah, so those two guys aren't actually going into the box, right? So it's one of those like weird plays that I don't really understand the overall play design, right? Of what was Michigan expecting here, right? It seems like it seems like this was possibly supposed to go backside, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But this seems odd where you have 3 guys play side, right? Look at how far these guys are getting up here, right? How far they're getting to the outside here. I don't really understand what is happening, because also play side you have Henderson releasing to the backside linebacker, right? There are these 2 linebackers here you're leaving wide open, and then you also have Barner completely leaving 55 to get into the backfield, and he's going out all the way on Tatum, right? So I don't really understand. You're leaving 55 free and number 7 free flowing, right? No one is picking him up, and you're leaving Domin Edwards with both 55 and number 7 to flow into the backfield here. I don't actually know. I don't know. It seems like it's supposed to be like this, right? Maybe a counter here, maybe, right? And that would explain why these guys are releasing here. But I'm not actually sure, because it looks dead to right, right? It looks absolutely dead. So that's one thing I don't really get. The only other explanation that I could see is that, and I think this other angle shows it a little bit better, is let's say that Henderson ID'd the wrong guy, right? So Henderson is supposed to go out and get 7, okay? So say you leave that, right? Maybe they're expecting this guy to stay home, okay? So stick with me. This guy is eliminated because he's just staying home, right? Henderson picks up this guy, crack block here, pulling Barner across to pick up this edge defender. Then the only guys that are unblocked is this linebacker who has to fight through this block from Henderson, and this guy who they're expecting to stay here, right? And then you expect Domin Edwards to be able to get to the outside and beat number 5. That's the only way I see this, right? That's the only way. So if we move forward here, right, instead of going out and picking up the backside backer, Ladarius Henderson does seem to initially have his eyes on him, but then says, I'm getting pushed inside here, right? I have to go out and find someone I can block, right? And that throws off everything else play side. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing I can think of. Because if number 7 is blocked here, right? If number 7 is blocked from Ladarius Henderson right now, like right here, right? If this guy's not in the play, you probably have this. You probably have this. Blocked, beat him to the edge, right? You probably have that. But the presence of number 7 here, right, that blows this up. That blows this up. There's no possibility of getting to the edge. So anyway, doesn't work, right? Doesn't work. And I don't think it's any fault of Donovan Edwards. But again, he's a guy who has been unfortunate more often than not. Okay, another 3rd and long. What do you guys think is going to happen on another 3rd and long?
Up, but they'll probably drop out.
Swing it. Edwards. Catch. Run. Blocking. Edwards. First down.
This is where you let Domin Edwards cook, right? Clever little play design. Little motion. How often have we seen Michigan really motion Domin Edwards back into the backfield, right? And that's what this looks like initially. And then boom, right? Boom, catch him off guard. We're going out, right? We're going out there. And clever play design, right? Because then it's just you have a super fast running back. You need 3 blocks, right? 1, 2, 3, boom, 3 blocks. That's it. Cal Haladay, you're not getting over there, right? Safety, you're probably not going to get over there until you're at the sticks, right? That's the game Michigan's playing here. Not super well blocked out on the edge, right? I mean, let me reframe. Good blocks here from your tight end, Colson Loveland. Good block here. I think this is Tyler Morris, right? Gross, I think 15, right? Actually blows through Roman Wilson. So Roman Wilson could have done a little bit better job there, right? He gets blown back. But great awareness, right? Roman Wilson recognizes, hey, Domin Edwards is probably coming up here pretty quick, right? recognizes get blown back. This is the path, right? And watch Roman Wilson. Boom, get out of the way, right? Get out of the way. So it's smart, right? Again, Roman Wilson, you don't have to necessarily make the best block. He harassed 15 just enough, right? Just enough to open up a seam, right? Got him off balance a little bit. So again, this play doesn't necessitate everyone having a huge pancake block for it to be successful, right? You just have to bother him enough, and then let Domin Edwards use his speed a little bit, right? This is where you really take advantage of Domin Edwards as a weapon, right? Not just as a running back, but as a weapon, right? So it's a really good job of Roman Wilson, I think, recognizing, hey, here he comes, right? Get him out of there. You're not gonna be able to take him down, right? A full speed Domin Edwards, exactly what Mark says. Roman Wilson sees you aren't arm tackling Domin Edwards at full speed. You're just not. So anyway, I like that play design. I like them still finding ways to get Domin Edwards in space, find use for him, even though maybe he's struggling between the tackles, not able to get things going. They're still finding ways to really take advantage of the skill set he does have. And it's a good one. All right, 1st and 10 here at the 25.
Set of downs. McCarthy in trouble. Gets away on the run.
There we go. Not the best pass protection here for Michigan, right? They got on a stunt. And really, you should be doing better if you're Michigan in that scenario, right? If we watch just the right side here, right? Nothing fancy. This guy is going to attack to the inside. Or I'm sorry, this guy's going to attack to the outside, right? You got a little twist here on the inside, and you're not able to do a successful pass off between Zinter and Barnhart, between your right guard and right tackle, right? So who's to blame? What's the appropriate response? I feel like you're a little bit closed off if you're Barnhart, right? Maybe he's thinking the speed rush is coming, right? Maybe that's why he's trying to get a little bit more depth, but he doesn't have the awareness, right? He seems like he's a little bit too far off the island. He's not connected to his right guard in the protection for a pass off, right? There's probably a little bit too much of a gap there. I feel like the other angle probably has a little bit better view of this. Let's switch over there, right? So he's just not at the same depth as Zinter here, right? So when this guy attacks the inside here, he's able to attack the hip here of Barnhart, right? He's able to attack that. Now, if I am Zinter, right, and I see this sort of attack into my offensive tackle, right, it's tough because obviously instincts will tell you this is the guy, you got to follow him, but maybe with just your right arm, right? He's completely turning his hips, following into this, taking himself out as well, even though this defender is essentially acting like a fullback. Right? Watch this defender moving forward on this play. He takes himself out with that as well. Right? So I think if you're Zinter, maybe give a little bit of a shove there and keep your eyes up. Right? He follows a little bit too hard and doesn't allow himself to get engaged all with the looping defensive end. Right? So that's what causes the pressure. Right? We can see JJ McCarthy's eyes here. Nothing really forming to the play side. Maybe he's looking at Cornelius Johnson. I think he's doing an in route, right? So this probably could have been a potential option right now, but he's already in scramble mode, right? Already in scramble mode. He has to get out. So really good job right here just to evade, right? And then he's flying to the outside here, and it's a good job from Roman Wilson, right? And it's really a continuation of Roman Wilson's route, right? He has an outside release sort of deep crossing route, right? So the scramble out of this, right, really behooves Roman Wilson. I don't know why I said behooves like that, but I did. So anyway, no one's keeping up with Roman Wilson in man-to-man on that sort of route, right? You're just not. So it's an easy read once you're outside the pocket for JJ McCarthy. Well-thrown ball, boom, touchdown, right? So again, when the play breaks down, not everything's going to be great. Sometimes the defense is going to run a good stunt. It's about improv, right? And that's what JJ McCarthy can bring you, right? Not only the on-schedule plays, but when things break down, being able to improvise, right? And that connection, especially with Roman Wilson, when a play breaks down, is exceptional. Meanwhile, vast network at work. Watch out, guys. I'm just kidding. So anyway, Mark says running room 2, but Roman Wilson wide open. And, that's the biggest thing in maturity. In the past, I feel like J.J. McCarthy would have taken this, right? Would have started running here, maybe try to get it to the outside. His ability to keep his eyes downfield, right? Recognize this and do that consistently has been biggest area of growth for him, right? And that's 6. All right, 14-0 early, tail end of the first quarter here. Let's see what Michigan State's got.
That they converted. Pitch it, Carter.
The answer is not a whole lot, right? An interesting little pitch counterplay here. Don't know what they're really trying, except for actually, I do know what they're trying, right? What they're trying here is this little pitch. Hold on. Robert, welcome to the stream. Says losing rush lanes against McCarthy during a stunt is fool's gold for opponents. Yeah. Unless you have an excellent interior defensive line, you're in trouble, right? That stunt better get home or else you're in trouble. I feel like I read something where teams are giving up more yards per attempt when they're getting pressure versus not. Maybe that's wrong. But anyway, okay. Here we go. A little pitch counter. First of all, this tight end is in his stance for like 12 years. Just watch him. He doesn't move until really late, right? So this pitch, right, 74 has probably the most important job where he's supposed to take out the defensive end. You bring this fullback right through the hole here for play side linebacker, right? And then your running back follows that through the hole. And I think you have probably a crack replace here, right? Just a crack from that wide receiver. That's where you're looking at, right? So what's the issue? Watch what Josiah. Oh, I didn't mean to zoom that up that much. Watch what Josiah Stewart does to this poor right guard, right? Here's Josiah Stewart, right? Go down the line, destroy 74. Right? That's his operation on that. Boom. Right? Good luck. 19 has nowhere to go. Right? That's the lead blocker, that fullback. Boom. Absolutely demolishes him. Gets the tackle. Right? And there's Derek Moore backside to make that tackle as well. Josiah Stewart, man, slow start of the year, right? Has really come on. Understands his assignment, brings just a ton of strength to the position, a lot of speed, agility. He's turned into a great player, really great player. He has been a great player. He's just elevated that to Big Ten play now and showing out week over week. That's how you blow it up, right? There's nothing else for Nate Carter to do but give up and go into line scrimmage. So great job, Josiah Stewart there. Assignment football, blowing up that block, making it impossible for anything else but destruction. Segment 10, right? No gain. Here we go.
Here. Hauser on second down. And that's batted.
Man, Kenneth Grant. I feel like there's not a whole lot of plays for Kenneth Grant in this game. This could have been a decent pickup, right? If we look at the eyes of Hauser where he's going, I feel like this is possibly a misplay from your safety here. Watch where Rod Moore is shifting here, right? Again, when you have two guys sort of in the same zone, that usually means something's wrong, right? They're a little bit close here, especially with a safety over the top here. I don't know where Rod Moore is necessarily going for that, right? I think Rod Moore needs to do a little bit better job reading the eyes here of Hauser and shift this way instead. Right? If we look at 83 here, let's back up, look at the route that 83 is running. Just a little in route, right? Little in route, little sit route here, right? He's got over the top, and this will be open, right? So if you watch Hauser here, boom, right? He's hitting this hole in the zone, right? There's quite a lot of room for 83 to be a first down right here. But I mean, how many times have I said that Kenneth Grant, right, has the awareness of a player much older than a true sophomore, right? If you don't win the rep, what do? You get your hands up, right? He's not winning this rep, right? He's not getting to the quarterback. That's fine. Boom. He's got long arms, right? That long frame. Why does wingspan matter, especially for defensive linemen? This sort of play, right? This sort of play. Most batted down balls in the country, account 22. Welcome back. Bray McGregor, right? Or are you talking about Michigan in general? Got to be up there, right? And this is where your defensive line coach, Mike Elston, right? I feel like he has brought a lot of this into the Michigan program, right? If you're not getting to the quarterback, locate the eyes, get your hands up, right? That's a huge play. That is a huge play. That is as good as getting quarterback or getting pressure on the quarterback and forcing an inaccurate pass. This is as good as that, right? For a defensive lineman. Huge, huge. So I think Rod Moore probably misplayed this a little bit. You can see his eyes the whole time were on number 19, right? So there's probably something between these two, right? That isn't lining up here. If my guess, it's probably Rod Moore, but I wouldn't put it past Junior Colson as well. Or is that Junior Colson? Yeah. So I don't know. Not exactly sure. But Kenneth Grant, excellent play. Forces another 3rd and long. Let's see how this one goes for the Spartans.
Hauser looking, firing, nearly intercepted.
Should have been pick, right? Should have been a pick. And Michigan baited them into this one, right? It looks like it's man all the way, right? It looks like it's man. If you're reading this, right, as Hauser, right, what are you looking at? It seems like you're dropping off maybe a deep half, right? He's not looking over to this side, but maybe he's thinking it's cover 2, right? Cover 2 man, where you're following this guy down the sideline, right? You got manned up here, right? Manned up here on 17. But Michigan is doing a little pass off here, right? Where you're passing off this route, right? If he carries vertical, you're passing that off to your safety here, and you're chilling in the flat, right? You're chilling in the flat, you're passing them off, and then anything that is coming across, right, towards your flat, that is where Josh Wallace is going to be sitting. Right? You can see that. Boom. At the time of throwing, right? This is where Hauser is throwing the ball. This still looks like man, right? So even if you're worried about this, you can't really blame Hauser. The only tell is that there's a safety directly over the top of this route, right? And that's the only real tell. So Josh Wallace is able to come off of that route, really good timing, and almost intercept the ball here on this out route. So really good job from him, right, to pass that off. Maybe if he's a bit, just a beat, right? And when I say a beat, I mean like a fraction of a second faster. He's able to cleanly react to that ball and step in front of it instead of just competing for the pass, right? But he's right where he needs to be in order to get the pass break up. Again, Josiah Stewart getting great pressure on the quarterback, right? But Josh Wallace, he's right there, right? He's right there. And this is terrifying for future quarterbacks, right? How do you read that? It's really difficult with how Michigan disguises coverages to read that appropriately, right? It's really difficult. And yeah, give a lot of credit Josiah Stewart with a speed rush here on the outside. Really good handwork. You can see that left arm, that little hook under the left arm of 53 there. Boom. Right, able to get leverage, get good pressure on the quarterback there. Could have been a pick. Could have been a pick. Love how Michigan is disguising coverages. And again, Michigan gets the ball back. 1st and 10 here, last minute of the first quarter.
That was a tough one because they played so well for 3 quarters and really had no business losing the game.
Put you back to Corum and the shimmy shake.
This one is actually blocked well. I give some credit to Michigan State on their defense here, but again, they're adding numbers to the box, right? Adding numbers to the box. If you don't add that, right, what do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? They're adding a 7th guy here. Tatum's going to be reacting here as well. So you should have numbers, right? You should have numbers in the box. A little counter pitch here, very similar to the play we saw out of Michigan State here, a little counter pitch. Good blocks overall, right? I feel like the only potential, yeah, I feel like everyone got their block here, right? Everyone did a good job. Even on the outside here, a little cracker place, right? Boom, pick that up. You're picking up the edge here if you're Barner. If you're Bredesen, you pick up probably the play side linebacker reacting to this, right? And he does. He eventually does, right? So I feel like maybe what Michigan was hoping for is a little bit more push out of your tight end. So make the contact and get a little bit more push to allow this to form, right? A little bit more here rather than in the backfield. So I feel like that gives just enough time and space here for Tatum to be able to work into the backfield here. But Blake Corum usually can make these guys miss. Tatum's a good athlete, right? So he's able to wrap them up. So I give this more of a hat tip. I think the edge player plays pretty well here, number 9 on the block for Barner. I feel like he does a pretty good job forcing this to be a little bit slower developing run for Blake Corum. But good blocks overall. I feel like this is just better defensive play. Still pick up of 2 yards, but yeah, hat tip to the defense, I think, on that one. All right, 2nd and 10 here. Now in the second quarter, 13:22 to go.
Dial up some pressure at all, and here comes that blitz. McCarthy reads it perfectly, and the quick strike to Barner.
Nothing a whole lot here, except just a favorable matchup on the outside. Again, all you have to look at here, and this is probably something they notice out in the from the booth, right? Of, hey, they're not motioning these defensive backs here. And they also like to run them off initially, right? This play would be not possible if he is stepping up and trying to take on Barner, at the line of scrimmage. But because you have Dylan Tatum, who's a cornerback, right, a defensive back, he's accelerating away from the line of scrimmage, and you have AJ Barner out here, right, a tight end on an island. You're able to run a simple little hitch, get him the ball quickly, right, and then it's one-on-one. Right. So if you're looking for yards after the catch, that's a matchup that you want. Right. Boom. On 2nd and 10, you get a guaranteed 6 yards. Right. Guaranteed 6 yards. And then, yeah, good luck. Right. This is a big tight end. And you're fighting through a defensive back and 43 here as well. This is just good recognition, right? Of, hey, what happens when we put one of our tight ends split out wide? Right? If they decide we're going to keep our corners out there, this is how you take advantage of that, right? Look at the size advantage of AJ Barner, who's a big tight end, right? 6'6", 6'7" or something. And Tatum is probably around 6 foot, maybe 5'10", 5'11", and quite a bit smaller, right? So this is how you take advantage of the reaction of a defense to how you take advantage of the reaction to the defense. Mark asks, post open or only after safety saw throw and moved? Are you asking about which post here? Yeah, I don't think there's anything else really open here. Not necessarily. Right. I feel like this play is too quick to judge if anything else is going to be open. Right. You have the safety over the top for anything vertical going here. I feel like this guy would have been following anything vertical if not for the throwing motion here. So at the time of the throw, right, this is when you start to see the reactions here. I don't think this necessarily would have been open because they're all reading the quarterback, right, and reading the throw and reacting to that. So maybe. Right. But it seems like you had one safety high to cover anything coming across here. And then you're manned up here as well. So it seems like Michigan State had appropriate coverage here. They're just playing a little soft on the outside, and Michigan was able to take advantage. So that's my read on it. Now, something that is fun to think about, right? And I always love to think about these little wrinkles that you can add here. right? Mitch can put this on the film, right? What if you turn this into a pump fake, right? A pump fake, because this guy will want to react here, right? Especially if you have a smaller guy here, this guy's going to want to react. Little pump fake, stutter, boom, right? Gone, right? That could be a little wrinkle here. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, moving on. 1st and 10. Yeah, I remember this play. This is frustrating.
Have the vibe that this team has in the locker room right now. First set of downs, McCarthy.
Wow, he had Roman Wilson.
Tucks it instead. McCarthy extends the play, and he can't get.
Brule's a good player, right? Number 7. I feel like I was most impressed by him throughout the game. You heard the commentators say, "Oh, he had Roman Wilson," right? So let's view from this side to look at primarily what JJ McCarthy is looking at, because the pressure doesn't really get there. It's only the secondary pressure, right? So I also don't know why Roman Wilson wasn't being thrown to right here, right? You have a single defensive back right here, right? You have a quick out route here from Cornelius Johnson. That's going to take this defender away. You have a corner route here out of Roman Wilson that is not thrown to, right? Right there. Boom. You have outside. You have it, right? It's there. And I'm sorry, it isn't a quick out route. It seems like a little sluggo route, right? What I mean by that is a little fake out and then back to the inside for Cornelius Johnson. So this is one where, again, I feel like throw this towards the pylon, right? I don't trust this guy to be able to make it out there. If not, at least throw it high this way, right? If you don't want to throw it out here, at least throw it this way, right? Towards the open area and let Rowan Wilson go up and get it, right? So I feel like he missed that. If he throws it right now, right? If he throws it right now, this guy does not have the depth. So I'll tell you when to throw it, but this guy isn't going to have the depth to react to the pass if JJ McCarthy starts throwing it right about now, right? That guy's not going to have the depth to throw that if you loft that up towards the back of the end zone. So anyway, I feel like he was thinking about throwing that, right? Maybe he wasn't comfortable with Ladarius Henderson getting pushed back a little bit. So if we go back to the other angle, looking at Ladarius Henderson, he's the one who loses a little bit on his block, right? Number 9, they have a little stunt going on. Ladarius Henderson not able to get his footwork, right? A little pass off stunt here. Boom, boom, loop around to the outside. Ladarius Henderson is not able to get set here, right? Good pass off, but not able to get his feet. And that, I think, gets JJ McCarthy a little bit squirrely. Who is underneath right away, left side? I believe that's Cornelius Johnson if we look at this, right? So this could also be a potential pass, but this guy could have been reacting quick to that. So because this is a little like out and in sluggo route, I think is what they call that, maybe not an option because Brule is right there, right? So what are options, right? At this point, I'm not really going to criticize JJ McCarthy. He's trying to find an out, right? He's trying to find where he should extend the play towards. I agree. At this point, you got to throw it away. At this point, you have to throw it away. If you want to throw it anywhere, try to throw it low here in case Rowan Wilson can work back towards it, right? JJ McCarthy just trying to do a little bit too much, right? Just a little bit too much. Live to see another down, right? So it's a little bit unfortunate. But again, this is the best angle. I think you have him. If you start throwing the ball right about now, right, before this guy can react back here, unfortunate. Right? Unfortunate. I feel like, 25 could be baiting this a little bit. And you could have that argument, right? That 25 is baiting that, but only if you're throwing the ball here, right? If you throw the ball back here a little bit more, you're still able to work vertically away from 25, and you still have the outside on number 1 to react to that, right? So if you push this a little bit more vertically towards the back of the end zone instead of towards the pylon a little bit, which shortens the angle for 25, I feel like that's a shot. Right? I feel like that's a shot. Missed opportunity. But hey, this is JJ McCarthy, right? So 2nd and 18, right? 2nd and 18. How do you make up for it?
Big spot for this Michigan State defense. Now looks like a free play. Oh, no flag. Yeah, it did come in on the near side.
There was a flag, right? There was a flag. Good job on the snap here, right? Boom. Clearly offsides. Michigan recognizes it. J.J. McCarthy recognizes that. Good job for Drake Nugent, right? Snapping it as soon as he realizes this is an offsides, right? And you take advantage, right? Throw maybe a little bit more risky of a pass than you usually would. And that's exactly what J.J. McCarthy does, right? Great way to take advantage of the mistake of the defense, right? So this is another area where Michigan is saying, hey, we have Colston Loveland matched up on a, defensive back, safety, whatever, one-on-one. We like that matchup, right? So when you see one-on-one coverage, right, I feel like the eyes for J.J. McCarthy were on this deep safety. If we go back just a little bit, I feel like that's where the eyes of J.J. McCarthy on. Is he going to be able to react to this pass to Colston Loveland? No. And then he waits, boom. Right? Waits on it, boom. Let my guy go up and get the ball, right? Not a crazy route from Colston Loveland, but it's clever, right? It's a clever little fake to the inside, right? See that little shimmy right here. The eyes here for Colston Loveland. Notice how he's looking to the inside there. And that one little inside step here, boom, right? Notice how 15 Gross here, he commits to that inside step, right? Watch Gross's body language. Boom, he commits hard to that. He starts moving this way based off of this left step and the eyes here of Colston Loveland. That sells it really well, right? Sells it really well. And now he threatens the outside, right? Step inside, threaten to the outside. What does Gross have to do in order to react to that? Turn his back on the play, right? He has no option to look back towards the ball because of that subtle little route from Colston Loveland. That buys space, right? That bought space here for Colston Loveland, and Gross has to turn his eyes away from the quarterback as a result. Right? Here's the flag for offsides that we couldn't see earlier. And now you see Colston Loveland's already looking back for the ball. Right? Here comes the ball. He's able to box out Gross. Boom. Right? Boom. Touchdown. So it doesn't look like a whole lot from Colston Loveland, right? But you sell it with the eyes. Sell it with the eyes. You have a little bit outside step here. Really sell it with that left step right here. Boom. Sell it. That gets Gross to commit. A little bit separation by moving to the outside from Loveland. Forces Gross to get his eyes away from the quarterback. That's when the throw is happening right now. And now, guess what? You have positioning. You have the eyes advantage for Colston Loveland. You have the size advantage of boxing them out. Go up and get it. Right? So, good throw. Good decision when you have a free play, right? That's the sort of matchup that you take advantage of in those situations. So I love it, right? It's a great call. And Michigan has to have sort of an understanding of, hey, in these situations where you have a free play, these are the sort of matchups you need to look at. These are the sort of guys that you should immediately look towards in maybe those riskier throws that Michigan doesn't always like to throw, but they create these situations, right? You don't do this sort of fake clap to get someone to jump and then free play situation on accident, right? You have this sort of route in place in case someone does jump off sides, and you can take that riskier throw as a result of that. So it's really clever, really clever. And I feel like I've said that a million times about this offense under Sharon Moore. Adam Shepperson, welcome back. Loveland, Wilson, Barner, turning into our best jump ball receiving threats. Has to give JJ a ton of confidence. I mean, especially the tight ends, right? They're a matchup nightmare. Roman Wilson is a nightmare as well, but more for speed, right? Loveland and Barner, just good luck. I don't know how any any linebacker, really any safety can adequately cover them consistently, at least. All right, just under 10 minutes back on defense.
Team that seems to get better every week.
Hauser on 3rd and 4. Dials it up. Rainbow delivery incomplete.
Can't cover it much better than that. One of the toughest routes to cover. It's a tough throw as well, but you're manned up in the slot here, right? I feel like this is one of Michigan State's best receivers here in Foster, right? I think that's his name. But Mike Sanders, so one-on-one, right? One-on-one in the slot, going on the fade there. A little bit of separation, but really good job, right? As you close the gap, you recognize the ball's likely coming. Make contact a little bit right here, right? Just make contact with that right arm. You see, boom, I have contact with him. I know where he's at, right? As soon as you make contact with his body, just with that right arm, right? Just feel his body. Now you can look back for the ball, right? Contact, look back, make a play on it, right? If he's not looking back for the ball, he probably gets called for a flag, right? Maybe not, but I think he does, right? So this is just excellent technique, right? Hold him up a little bit, push him outside, recognize that he's going on a fade, boom, see that contact? Just a little bit forearm, right? 50-50 contact right here, 50-50, right? And look at where that arm is, right? This is really hard for a ref to see and also call because there's not a whole lot that Mike Sainristil is doing with that right arm. But if he wants to make that catch, right, the right hand here of Mike Sainristil is between the arms here of 17, right? So if he tries to come down with the ball, he already has an arm in between those hands that would be catching that ball, right? So it's a really tough thing for 17 to actually make, right? So by Mike Sainristil turning, trying to make a play on the ball, right, even though it hits him in the helmet, you can make the very clear argument that Mike Sainristil is trying to make a play on the ball here, right? So it's a really good job, right? He doesn't make a whole lot of contact here, right? He's not doing anything egregious. This is just excellent play. Really good technique as well. So I love the timing of this, right? A little bit of separation, right? Give 17 some credit. He created a little separation there. As soon as you close that gap, contact eyes, hand up to try to play the ball. Boom. Right? Perfect. Can't do much better than that. Tough pass, tough play to defend against, and you do it perfectly. Really good job. All right, Michigan back with the ball, 2nd and 5.
Edwards, good blocking, and he'll pick up.
It's another one where, man, nothing wrong that you do as Donovan Edwards. You're one block away from a TD, and I truly believe that on this play. Nothing you did wrong here. Good blocking play side. All right, look at play side here. Really good job from Henderson and Keegan. Keegan, one-on-one blocks. Boom, boom. Clear that out. Right now, Zinter has a tough job with this defensive end crashing inside, right? And that's going to interfere with the block of Nugent getting out to the second level, right? That's where this play really falls apart a little bit, right? So I actually think Nugent has a very difficult job, but he has to turn his hips a little bit on this, right? He has to recognize, hey, there's someone trying to fly behind me, right? I feel like Zinter correctly rides him down the line of scrimmage. If you're able to get a little bit more vertical here out of Nugent and get out to the second level here and seal him off, right? He loses his balance because of this guy knifing down the line of scrimmage, right? He's not able to get upfield enough. His lower body gets taken out. He's not able to hold this block on this linebacker, and that's the key, right? Because pause it right here. Pause it right here. If you're able to continue this out, if Nugent's able to get out a little bit and hold this block in the second level, you're gone. Block here, block here. This is the only guy you have to beat. You love that battle with this much space for Donovan Edwards, right? But Nugent's not able to stay on that block, right? Not able to stay on that block, and he's the guy able to make the play on Donovan Edwards. If not, he's gone. If not, boom, you're gone. So this is where I feel for Donovan Edwards because, again, he didn't do anything wrong, right? Where else are you going to go if you're Donovan Edwards? That is the hole, right? That is the hole. Your guy just fell off a block, right? Still a good pickup, still getting 4 or 5 yards, right? Create a 3rd and short, but it could have been a huge play, and it's just unfortunate that Nugent wasn't able to hold on to that block. All right, 3rd and 1 here. A rare JJ mistake, I think.
Wilson in motion. Corum, the handoff. No, it's McCarthy on the keeper, and he's not.
It's a bummer, right? It's a bummer. I thought this could have potentially, I don't know. It seems tough because I don't understand the blocking if this is supposed to be a read, right? Like, I feel like if this is supposed to be a read, why is Roman Wilson even blocking him, right? If this is supposed to be a read, Roman Wilson should continue to the outside. This guy should be left unblocked, right? Because that's who you're reading. You're reading this guy. If he's coming down the line of scrimmage, keep to the outside. You have a lead blocker, Roman Wilson, right? Him blocking, right, just makes the job easier here of these defenders to react to a keep from JJ McCarthy, because this block, right, this doesn't actually make the path of these guys any bit more difficult, right? Your read of this edge defender is supposed to take him out of the play, right? You're supposed to eliminate him through the read. That's not what happens here, right? So if this was supposed to be just like a pure give and this block is always on and Jason McCarthy just decided to go rogue, right? Maybe that is the case, because there would be a crease right here if you do give here, right? I do think the decision to keep was appropriate. If this read is live, then the block is just incorrect, right? Because if you're able to follow Roman Wilson to the outside, I feel like you can beat this guy and Roman Wilson can pick up the first body that shows up, whichever it's one of these guys. So anyway, I feel like it could have been a potential big play to the outside, probably just a missed block there from Roman Wilson, and creates an unfortunate 4th and short. So yeah, just a missed read, possibly missed block, depending on which way you read it. I feel like Wilson should have continued on to the outside. CS Leve. All right, back to defense here. Trying to hustle up here, trying to get to the end of the first half. I wanted to be done there at 9:30 tonight. We'll see.
All right. After going to Rutgers, played pretty well last week and nearly intercepted there.
Get to see Amorian Walker here, right? 1st and 10 here. We're midway through the second. We see Amorian Walker react to this out route here. He reacts pretty quickly, right? Now, this pass wasn't great, right? This pass was not great. And Adam Shepardson, it seems like we are really close, busting a couple big runs before we freak out. I need to see our backs get more reps in the 4th quarter when D's are gassed. That's fair. Yeah, I think that's a great point. And we haven't seen that yet. But, okay, Amorian Walker, right? Guy's been injured leading into the season. But this is really good technique. And this is, people are freaking out about his athleticism, right? Because this is really fluid hips, right? A guy his size, I think he's what, 6'3", 6'4". Watch his ability out of the back pedal here to then shift and break on this route. That's really fluid and that's really quick, right? So even if this pass is thrown a little bit more accurately, right, it should be a little bit further to the outside. I feel like Amorian Walker at least still gets close, right? Now, ideally, you could argue that Amorian Walker should be picking this ball off, right? I feel like you could, right? But hey, he's reacting to the ball well, right? Hopefully with time, he'll be able to turn that from a pass breakup into an interception. So it's at the very least a very good sign to see this out of Amorian Walker, at least being comfortable, right? Being comfortable, showing good technique, no wasted movement here, good angle there on working out to the out route. Again, not the best throwing ball, but he's doing a really good job in his technique there, and he looks comfortable, right? So potentially could have been a huge play. Bummed he didn't get the pick, but good job, Maureen Walker. Excited for his future. And, I think after coming out of the offseason with his injury, we were expecting it to be next year. Maybe it'll be later this year, right? We'll see. Hopefully he'll get more time. All right, 3rd and inches, offense.
Where are you down?
3rd and short. And
so this is, Adam Shepardson, athletic ability measurables. Once he gets into the gets his technique perfected, Amorian can be a pro. Absolutely. I think it's a matter of when. If he sticks to his path, can stay healthy. That's the main thing. Stay healthy. Sky's the limit for him. This play, I just wanted to highlight the tight ends really quick, right? This is just a wedge play, a dive on 3rd and inches, right? But the tight ends, Barner and Loveland, absolutely do work, right? So let's watch 89 first, just absolutely cave in the right side of this, right? Boom, gets a ton of movement there on 26. Really good job from him. Loveland has such an impressive job here, right? He has to chip the edge player first, right? Don't let this guy get around to the edge, able to attack corner from behind here, right? chip him on the edge, and then cave down, right? Chip the edge, then cave down. So watch Colson Loveland 18. Chip the edge, right? Cut that off. Give Blake Corum just a little bit of time to determine his path, and then watch him close this off, right? Boom. Able to get that additional push. Really lays out Brule there, number 7. Lays him out, right? So, again, good job from the offensive line. Everyone up front. Again, you're forming a wedge, right? Get low, battering ram forward, right? Form that wedge, get movement. And then tight ends, right? Form the edge of that wedge. Don't let anyone in outside. Contribute here to anyone coming on the second level. So really good job there. Really good job there, especially from the tight ends, creating that crease. First down, Michigan. All right, we got 5 minutes left.
Just 37 years old. First down carry for Edwards. Tried to bounce it to the out.
Another one where, you can see what they're trying to do. You can see what Michigan is trying to do for Donovan Edwards. Get him out in space, right? Get him comfortable operating at full speed. I feel like they really like when he's in that one cut and go and make things easy for him, right? Now, I feel like you need to help him out a little bit if you're the offensive line, right? I feel like you need to, if you're Ladarius Henderson, make a decision, right? He continues down the line of scrimmage here. Start working vertical a little bit earlier, right? A little bit earlier, because this is all about timing, right? Everyone's going to be flowing to this play. It's all about flow for the defense, right? How quick can you work against this? Because you have offensive linemen trying to work here, right? You only have one blocker out here. So it's a matter how quick can you get your safety down here, right? So it's all about getting out there and getting on him quick to allow your running back to make a quick decision. Ladarius Henderson, 73 here, doesn't decide that block quick enough, right? And I feel like Edwards, sure, maybe you could argue threaten the outside and then boom, get to the inside, right? Or maybe at least threaten cutting up to the inside and then cut to the outside once Ladarius Henderson makes contact. But I feel like Henderson needs to hustle out here, right? His timing is just a little bit slow there. And you can see how that just forces Donovan Edwards to slow up just a little bit, right? And that indecisiveness, that allows Halliday 27 to flow to the play. Halliday isn't overly athletic, right? He isn't. But he has good angles generally. He's a decent run defender, right? So he's able to work his way over there because of the time, because of a little bit slow on the block there from Henderson. Henderson doesn't pick anybody up, right? So it's all about timing, getting out there, getting the right verticality on the blocks, right? Make the job of your running back a little bit easier by being committal, right? And Henderson just doesn't do a great job there. So again, I like what they're trying to do for Edwards. He's not getting the best looks from his blocks, unfortunately. Okay, 4 minutes left. 2nd and 12 here. Back to some good plays.
McCarthy with a blitz. Can he get away? Yes. McCarthy extends the play. Now he'll use his legs. McCarthy.
I mean, this is just McCarthy being McCarthy, right? This is Michigan State sending exotic look, right? A tough blitz. You have, not the best pickup here from Michigan. Again, Zinter, I feel like could have done a little bit better job, as well as Nugent, right? Sending this linebacker here, right? You're sending a linebacker here. You have pass protection here from Donovan Edwards. You're not appropriately passing off between Zinter and Nugent. Zinter needs to pass this off to the center, right? Here comes 97. Pass him off. Keep your eyes up if you're Zinter, right? Keep your eyes up for this linebacker, right? If we watch Zinter 65 there, he never passes that off. So that's what allows this pressure to get there right away, right? Regardless of what read you have initially for J.J. McCarthy, it's not going to be there, right? This play, it's a little bit, is way too fast for him to expect your quarterback to throw anything right away. You look downfield, there's not a whole lot available, maybe right here, but not at this point, not yet. So anyway, Zinter realizes it, right? Oh crap, right? There's Brule getting in there. J.J. McCarthy doing J.J. McCarthy things, making guys miss, right? At this point, I feel like he should have given the ball to Donovan Edwards, right? Still get the ball to Donovan Edwards right here. I feel like that's a potential big pickup, right? And you want to get the ball into your playmakers. I know J.J. McCarthy is a playmaker, but limit the hits for J.J. McCarthy, right? And it's effectively the same thing, getting the ball to Donovan Edwards here. than if JJ McCarthy is running the ball, right? So that's the only criticism I have there. Get him the ball. But at this point, Donovan Edwards, you got to block, right? Throw a block here, work upfield, right? It's time to do something at that point, right? But anyway, JJ McCarthy deserves a ton of credit, right? Ton of credit. Makes himself really skinny there, right? Really good job. Really good job to extend the play here, right? And he's continuing to look downfield, right? But there's not a whole lot. I feel like he was looking a little bit deep, right? Looking for the home run, looking deep, or maybe a little shuffle pass here, right? Just a little pass here. A lot of room for Donovan Edwards, right? And he's in space. You like that matchup. So anyway, I'm not going to complain about what is that 15-yard pickup or so, but as Adam says, would have been nice to see Donald get to work on this play. Yep. So I'm not going to complain about it, but it's been a little bit more possibly in Donovan Edwards' hands. All right, 2nd and 10.
Not to mention the 2 touchdowns, one to Wilson and one to Loveland. 2nd and 10. McCarthy, a dart, and it's complete.
I mean, what more can you say? Right? What more can you say? This is an NFL pass, and probably the best pass I've seen out of JJ McCarthy. If he's going to the draft, this is the pass that you show on his NFL film, because that just whistles by a linebacker's ear, right? Let's look at the reads here out of JJ McCarthy. He's looking at that the whole way, right? They get the matchup they want. They realize this safety is going to be working vertically here. You're not going to have a safety over top on this. When your responsibility is Cal Halladay on a tight end like Colson Loveland, you take that all day. And JJ McCarthy does. Can't place the ball any better than that. I mean, we have a lot of angles on this, right? This is probably the best angle. You can see that all day, right? This is just a timing thing. Wait for him to turn his back. Boom. Right by the helmet of Cal Halladay, right? He had to have heard it. Had to have heard that ball go whistling by. It's a great view as well, right? He's just looking. And he's looking here to ensure that this safety doesn't creep over, right? And as soon as this guy turns his head, it's done, right? Boom. He sees what he needs to see. Crazy throw. I mean, that is just excellent ball, right? I mean, the broadcast, they were losing their mind over it, right? Because I mean, that's just exceptional, right? You're throwing it the only spot that you can. So anyway, I'll gush about this throw time and time again, and you should, because that's ridiculous, right? That's a ridiculous throw. But again, it's reading body language, and that's like the ultimate evolution. It's not just open, but throwing based on body language and knowing what that linebacker is going to have to do to try to cover, right? So that's exceptional. Doesn't get much better than that. It really doesn't. All right, couple plays here, and then we'll get out of here for the night. All right, 3rd and 8 here, Michigan State trying to respond.
Action and step into a throw.
Hauser deep drop. Feeling the
Easy little stunt here, right? This isn't anything special. Something Michigan has done all year. You throw a linebacker here towards the running back, right? And then you throw him into the tackle. What does that do? That commits the running back and the tackle onto the same blitzer here, right? Eliminates him, but then you take out both your tackle and your assistant in pass protection, right? Then you threaten here, loop around, and Josiah Stewart is able to get the sack because you've eliminated 2 blockers with Barrett, right? So there you can see right here, you have both the running back and the tackle who are going to be taken out by Mike Barrett, right? Boom. There goes the running back following him. Look what that does to Josiah Stewart, right? Wide open. This is also a coverage sack, right? You're dropping into zone, so you're making it hard for any like initial throws here, right? Really what you should do if you're Hauser and you recognize pressure, probably dump it off right here, right? You're in zone. These guys will be able to react to it. It's 3rd and 8, so you'll probably lose here, but you won't get thunder sacked like this, right? So it's a thunder sack. So clever, right? More of a mess up than anything else from Michigan State. They had plenty of guys in to handle the four-man rush. It's just a well-executed stunt. And again, for a young quarterback, right, to see that, terrifying, right? You're terrifying. So ton of credit to Michigan for executing a really well done stunt right there. Okay, Michigan has the ball left, 117. All right, couple.
McCarthy loads it up, wide open, incomplete.
All right, real quick on this one. Single coverage on the outside, right? That's where the eyes of JJ McCarthy are looking. He's looking at safety. Boom, you got single coverage here. Go to the outside, take a shot, right? That's where this is meant to be going. Now, at the time of the throw, right, this is still this guy. I think you still win this, right? Even if this guy doesn't fall down, because he's just getting out of his back pedal now. Tyler Morris is still carrying this vertical, right? So he's still likely to have some separation. But at the time of the throw, J.J. McCarthy doesn't know that this guy has fallen yet, right? He's only releasing the ball now, and only now does that guy fall over. So again, you don't have like a wide open receiver for J.J. McCarthy that he missed, right? Otherwise, you would expect your quarterback, if he has the knowledge that this guy has fallen down, you're not throwing this ball with a lower completion percentage, right? You don't have to put it on the money in that situation. But he doesn't know that at the time of the release of the ball, right? So it's a little bit different. Not fair to criticize him for the location. Again, it's just not a perfectly accurate ball, right? Put simply, it's put high and away from where the defender would have been to react to that ball, and just a little bit out of his grasp, right? So anyway, good route here from Tyler Morris, right? Good job. I feel like it's just not the most accurate ball. I feel like Tyler Morris did a good job going for that. I don't know if he slowed up. It's a good question, Adam Shepardson. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he looked back a little bit early, and you could argue he slowed up. So it's possible. Maybe he did slow up a little bit. Hard to tell. Maybe only like a half step, but again, that half step could have made a difference. So more of a bummer than like than anything else. All right, 2nd and 10 here. Still trying to drive down the field.
Throw it right at him and let him just make the catch and run.
Instead, Barner on the outside spins away from the first tackle and then gets out of.
This I don't even really want to break down more than just AJ Barner just being a guy, right? AJ Barner coming across formation. Again, you can learn a lot from motion, right? What do you learn by this? You learn number 12 here is responsible, right? And you like that matchup. Again, get him out in space one-on-one against a safety or a guy that cannot handle this one-on-one, right? Get him the ball in space, boom, get off me, right? And now you get a first down, right? So you're creating great opportunities for your tight end to get yards after the catch. A really good job. And then additionally, I give a lot of credit for Samaj Morgan recognizing this and continuing down and trying to pick up a block on 43, right? It doesn't work perfectly, right? But Samaj Morgan flying towards 43 here, right? Creates a little bit extra seam there for AJ Barner to go for the hurdle here, right? But anyway, good hustle. Really good job, yards after the catch there for Barner. They're putting their tight ends in a really good position to get effective yards after the catch as well. All right, 1st and 10 here, 1:05 left in the half.
How about 2 tight ends leaving a major dent in this defense? First set of downs, McCarthy over the middle.
And then bummer, man. This ball was there, right? This ball was there. Good throw, good decision, perfectly placed ball, good pass protection, enough time to read the coverage there for J.J. McCarthy. Just over the hands there of the linebacker, right where it has to be for Tyler Morris, and just simply a drop, right? I feel like the wide receiver core has generally been pretty good catching the ball. I'd say damn good. But this is just a straight up drop, right? That's exactly where that ball has to be. And he just drops it. Nothing more than that. All right. Continuing on this drive, 2nd and 10, less than a minute left to go.
cherry on top of what has been a sensational first half. McCarthy.
This was another risky pass. All right, I feel like this coverage was pretty good on the outside. I believe that's Angelo Gross again. So he doesn't buy, or he's able to read this route pretty well. So again, I don't know if the throw is all that late. I think it's generally pretty good. I feel like this is just a good play from the defensive back. And it's a little scary, right? A little scary, where again, maybe a better defensive back is able to pick that off. So maybe not the best decision here. Again, do we have better bodies to go towards? It seems like Romo Wilson could have been a better option right here, right? With Cal Halliday sitting here, throw him open, let him keep going, right? So I don't know. It feels like he was maybe a little bit too attached to that out route. I feel like right here, he should come off of that, right? Come off of that, come off of this. This doesn't look particularly open, and look back here. Maybe this was a thing where Michigan really likes that matchup, right? And that's why maybe you throw this where traditionally that's not an open read or not a throw that you would traditionally want your quarterback to make. Maybe he's receiving direction that this is a matchup that you need to continue to go back towards, right? But to me, you have Donovan Edwards. That's a good check down here. Yes, you're under a minute, but this is a lot of space for Donovan Edwards. You could probably get a first down out of Romo Wilson here. So I think this was a little bit of a forced pass, a little bit risky in a situation where you didn't have to be. Moving on, 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10, what are you going to do? Let him cook, right? Let the guy cook.
Down tonight. McCarthy stands in, delivers, complete. Colston Loveland.
Colston Loveland, right? Working across the center of the field. Here he is lined up right here. He's just going to work up the seam, right? Work up the seam over the linebacker, right? Work over the linebacker, then cut back inside. A little bit of an angle route, right? So threaten the seam, get the linebacker to react to that route, and then work back inside, right? It's a really difficult job, I believe it's number 12, to do because you're threatened to the outside. Look at how much field, right? Look how much field and how much that's threatening of this this guy in coverage. Right? That's quite a bit. So by threatening to the outside, look at the motion here. Look at the body language of this linebacker. That allows Colston Loveland to use that momentum against him, right? Use the momentum against him, work back inside. JJ McCarthy sees this guy getting out there, right? I think he probably has deep over the top help. So that's going to open up this, right? When he cuts back inside, this guy isn't sitting there waiting to react to this. Right? So now you got Colston Loveland able to work back to the inside there. Safety's moving away from that. Boom. Right? Really good job. Now, pass protection broke down a little bit, right? Could have done a little bit better job here from Trevor Keegan, right? Keegan's got to recognize, hey, this guy's looping in. Move your feet a little bit, right? Right? Keep your feet moving. That guy does a good job fighting through that. Almost get the hand on the ball. Good job from Colston Loveland seeing that ball in, picking up the first down. Right, now you're moving. All right, here we go. 2nd and 5 here, Michigan, 40 seconds left.
Blind as we get set for a 2nd and 5. McCarthy over the middle. Barner, another catch and run. Inside the 15.
Again, picking on number 12, right? Same guy, same route. Pretty much run the same route. Little angle route. Boom. Right? Taking advantage of number 12 here. If a guy's not able to hack it in coverage, take advantage of him. Don't apologize for it, right? You just cooked them with Colston Loveland. Now you're cooking them with AJ Barner. It's a great route for a big guy, right? Really great route. Again, they probably like attacking the hips, right? So by faking to the outside, going back inside, this guy isn't able to get his hips flipped quick enough, right? Boom. Not able to react at the same speed that AJ Barner is. Right? Take advantage of it. Right? Just all day attack it. 2-minute drills, refreshing to see regardless of getting points or not. Yeah, really well done. Really well done. And you're down at the 10. Right? So this is the play, right? Michigan gets a 5-yard pickup here and not able to convert. Let's watch it.
Well, they got time to set up and call the play or spike it, either one.
Clock still ticking at 10. McCarthy to the outside. Barner.
So this is a situation where I would have liked Michigan just to spike it, right? Where don't make timeouts, 16 seconds left. Ideally, that looks like 2 plays, right? I feel like you're looking at 2 plays there. Say 2 plays of 5 to 6 seconds, right? 5 to 6 seconds, I think, is about average for 2 pass plays. And that gives a little bit of wiggle room for your quarterback to scramble on one of those 2 plays, regardless, right? So that means you have either like a second and third down for 2 plays and then a field goal, right? I don't feel like 16 or 15 seconds is enough for 4 plays. So for that reason, if it's under 20 seconds, I would generally say this is a situation where you spike the ball. Oh, but wait, it's already second and goal. So that gives you only one down. Yeah, never mind. For some reason, I was thinking this was first and goal. So ignore what I said. I can understand them doing this. But yeah, it was just disorganized, right? Disorganized. Motion in the backfield is illegal if you step backwards or laterally. I mean, that's true, but there is a notion of you have to be set for 1 second, right? And at what point is Domin Edwards set, right? You could argue right here, right? Right here, he's set, and then he motions, right? I feel like if he wasn't moving his hand, right? Because he's moving his hand right here, that gives the sense that he's not yet set, right? So I feel like that's maybe something that works against Domin Edwards in that case. But you have to be set, and then sure, you can motion wherever you have to. But the argument of was he ever set before that last little hop step backwards, that's the only debate I see, because he moved his hand, right? Like if you would argue he stops moving like right about here, and then he doesn't move his hand at all, and then maybe he took that step back, I think it's probably the right call. Bummer, because it would have been probably a touchdown. Right. So anyway, it is what it is, right? Like you said, Adam, it was encouraging to see this 2-minute drill, regardless of how it ended. Right. And in the grand scheme of things, the game ended up 49-0, regardless if it was 28-0 or 35-0 at half. Right. So, okay. That's all I got. About 12 minutes over what I wanted to be, but that's okay. All right. As always, guys, Michigan.rivals.com. A ton of chatter going on about all of the Connor Stallions stuff going on. Josh has some great intel over on the board, so I'm learning a lot, reading a lot over there. Throw a like on this video if you like this sort of content. I'll be doing part 2 of the second half later this week. Throw a subscription to the channel. That helps support myself and Trevor and everyone at the team quite a bit. Dennis Fithian, we got a ton of guys on the YouTube channel regularly. So throw some love, throw a like, throw a subscription towards us. That helps a lot. And then, yeah, I appreciate all you guys coming here to watch some film with me. Chuck Miller, Ty Black, Adam Shepardson, Mark Majkowski, Mr. Martini, Robert Dindoffer, Account 22, Drink Duff 77, Brian Block. Appreciate all you guys. If I didn't call your name, Derek Campbell. Appreciate all you guys stopping by. Anyone who came by afterwards, leave a comment. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, and what you want to see more of. Go Blue. I need to finish the Liberty versus Western Kentucky game. Is that going on right now? I forgot that there's like football on Wednesdays right now. That's really funny. What games are on tonight? That's really funny. Okay, I'm out of here. Yeah, Liberty, Western Kentucky, and New Mexico State, Louisiana Tech. All right, there we go. Football to turn on. Okay, guys. See you later this week. Appreciate you stopping by. Go Blue. I'll talk to you later.